This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Record keeping is a vital part of every institution. Hospitals, schools, and travel agencies all keep and maintain records for their clients. Many reasons justify the need to constantly and consistently keep certain records. This essay shall focus on the need to keep certain types of records in a typical school environment. In addition, the essay shall also identify and explain the various types of records kept in such a setup. One important area of data entry and keeping of records is in the airport. Airport agencies and airliners should always know the number of passengers on board when the plane lands and when it does not land at the airport. Record keeping in airline agencies. The maintenance of records by airline agencies can be justified by the confusion that may result from, say, mismatching of the baggage number from the point of initial travel. The most critical justification for the keeping of such records is to be aware of the knowledge of any complications that could crop up during the journey. During such critical hours, people need to know the whereabouts of their relatives. Without proper records, the company may be left only at the mercy of issuing information for the benefit of the doubt. However, the significance of record keeping, just like inventory, helps in the identification of the specific person and is ready to let the people know the truth at a time when it is most needed. In essence, record keeping eliminates all forms of confusion that may arise due to a lack of order. Record keeping has been observed to create order as a result of predetermined developments. Consequently, the teacher can get enough time in his schedule to enable him or her to rehearse important parts that keep up the perfection of the company. This criterion is observed by. In the school setup, record keeping is just one of the activities that enhance practical teaching for lifelong sector and certificate in teaching for the learning for lifelong sector. The individual has to run several other desirable qualities alongside record keeping. This includes the verification of entered variables in the Excel sheet. At the same time, the same individual seeks to develop as a whole as he/she manages records of the home. At the end of the course, when the trainer has gathered sufficient knowledge, they are expected to easily know what goes to the record entry and what does not qualify for the criteria. The lifelong sector demands that the teacher is rich in record management skills and can generate data in any form that would last a lifetime in the entire period of their stay in the institution. In this case, the data can be a composite of several other variables that ought to be included in the records. Record keeping, therefore, gives the institution and the individual an edge in the job market. Record keeping becomes particularly important in annual planning and drawing annual planners that go into circulars floated through the internet. Therefore, record keeping is central to the activity of budgeting. It adds more to the teacher's experience because the theory meets with the view of a joint committee on rural schools. Record keeping in schools and TELs. Properly kept records serve as an important basis for future references, particularly when the record is synchronized. Such records can easily be retrieved from the archives. In any case, there is a need to maintain important records on almost all aspects of the individuals. In a school setup, for example, various types of records are kept. Much of these records pertain to the students' affairs with their administration. They include permanent and supplementary records. In a school environment, these two kinds of records are distinguished by their content. Given preparing to teach in the lifelong learning sector, PTLLS, permanent records include health records of the student's transcripts, and examination progressive reports GPA identified by Strayer and Engelhrdt. The details of a typical transcript include the student's legal name, social security number, sex, date of birth, parents or guardians, date of entry into the school courses, and other important information revealed by certain records, including the name of the institution that the student attended before joining this school. Permanent records are suitable for identifying even the date of withdrawal of the student, accompanied by the necessary explanation. The main reason for keeping records is to make a complete follow-up in times of need. In many institutions, record keeping allows easy access to information when it is needed. Consider the case of a student in an emergency impaired by critically difficult conditions. Access to his or her file takes a much shorter time compared to a setup where important files are kept haphazardly. These records may be kept in a cumulative folder. These types of records are critically important in monitoring the condition of the student in different areas such as health, education, and co-curricula. In case of a student's gross misconduct, the details are entered in the permanent record in the cumulative folder. In any case, if the student received any disciplinary action, this as well goes into the school records. On the other hand, supplementary records may concern the individual student's secondary information that may be of key interest to the institution. The supplementary report involves a different perspective of the student, such as his or her assessment and placements. In this case, a student whose case is of concern reports supporting groups when he or she comes from schools for perennial aid. While still in school, PTLLS and CTLLS always recommend the use of teachers' working notes for quality assessment. The working notes developed by staff, in this case, refer to records concerning certain students maintained by the teachers themselves. This kind of record is not revealed to any other person apart from a specified staff member. The imperative of PTLLS-CTLLS training is to perfect the scale of record keeping that would go a long way in ensuring efficient recovery and retrieval of student records. This bit focuses on the types of data that one needs to assess and complete. As a way of formalizing entry into an institution, the students need to complete their historical origin. They specify their race and ethnic background. Moreover, names of parents or guardians are provided besides a list showing all the people who may need the file of any particular student. If you want to find more works like this essay on the need for keeping records in education, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects.